Hello children. Today's video session is about the lesson Environmental Science, in which we will be knowing about the nitrogen and its cycle. Environmental science incorporates the study of the physical, chemical and biological process that take place on the earth, as well as the social, political and cultural process which impart the planet. Environmental science is important to understand the process of the natural world in which we live and use its resource wisely in order to sustain life on earth. Nature has the power of refresh and renew by Helen Keller. Now let us learn about nitrogen. Nitrogen makes in the atmosphere. Did you know 78% of gas is nitrogen, 21% is oxygen and 1% is carbon dioxide. Nitrogen makes up 78% of Earth's atmosphere. It is also an important part of living things. Nitrogen is found in protein, nucleic acid and chlorophyll. The nitrogen cycle moves nitrogen through the abiotic and biotic parts of ecosystem. Even though nitrogen gas makes up most of Earth's atmosphere, plants cannot use this nitrogen gas to make organic compound for themselves and other organisms. The two nitrogen atom in a molecule of nitrogen gas are held together by a very stable triple bond. This bond must be broken for the nitrogen to be used. The nitrogen gas must be changed to a form called nitrates, which plants can absorb through their root. Nitrogen is a key nutrient element for plants. However, the abundant nitrogen in the atmosphere cannot be used directly by plants or animals. Nitrogen is an essential component of protein, DNA, and chlorophyll. Nitrogen cycle is a biogeochemical process through which nitrogen is converted into many forms, consequently passing from the atmosphere to the soil to organism and back into the atmosphere. Nitrogen gas exists both organic and inorganic form. Organic nitrogen exists in living organisms and they can get passed through the food chain by the consumption of other living organisms. Inorganic forms of nitrogen are found in abundance in the atmosphere. This nitrogen is made available to plants by symbiotic bacteria which can convert the inert nitrogen into a usable form such as nitrites and nitrates. Nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen cycle is a biogeochemical process which transforms the inert nitrogen present in the atmosphere to a more usable form for living organism. Nitrogen undergoes various types of transformation to maintain the balance in ecosystem. Stages of nitrogen cycle. The process of nitrogen cycle consists of the following steps: nitrogen fixation, nitrification, assimilation, ammonification, and denitrification. Nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen fixation is the conversion of atmospheric nitrogen, which is in inert form, to reactive compound available to living organisms. This conversion is done by a number of bacteria and blue-green algae. Leguminous plants like pea and beans have the symbiotic relationship with nitrogen-fixing bacteria Rhizobium. Rhizobium occur in the root nodules of leguminous plant and fixes nitrogenous compound. Types of nitrogen fixation: atmospheric fixation, industrial nitrogen fixation, and biological nitrogen fixation. Atmospheric fixation: the energy of lightning breaks the nitrogen into nitrogen oxide and is then used by plants. Industrial nitrogen fixation: man-made alternative that aids in nitrogen fixation by the use of ammonia. Ammonia is produced by the direct combination of nitrogen and hydrogen, and it is converted into various fertilizers such as urea. Biological nitrogen fixation: bacteria like Rhizobium and blue-green algae transform the usable form of nitrogen into other compounds that are more readily usable. These nitrogen compounds get fixed in the soil by these microbes. Microorganism involved in nitrogen cycle is Acetobacter in soil. Microorganism involved in nitrogen cycle, that is Rhizobium in root nodules. Microorganism involved in nitrogen fixing nitrogen cycle is blue-green algae nostoc. Nitrification: the ammonium compound formed by ammonification process are oxidized to soluble nitrate. This process of nitrate formation is known as nitrification. The bacteria responsible for nitrification are called as nitrifying bacteria. Microorganism involved in nitrogen cycle in nitrification is Nitrosomonas and Nitrobacter. Nitrogen assimilation: primary producers plant take in nitrogen compound from the soil with the help of their roots, which are available in the form of ammonia, nitrate ion, and ammonium ion, are used in the formation of the plant and animal protein. This way it enters the food web when the primary consumers eat the plant. Ammonification: the process of decomposition of nitrogenous waste by purifying bacteria and fungi into ammonium compound is called ammonification. Animal proteins are excreted in the form of urea, uric acid, or ammonia. The putrefying bacteria and fungi decompose these animal protein, dead animals and plants into ammonium compound. Microorganism involved in nitrogen fixation, that is ammonification, is fungi. Denitrification: the process in which the nitrogen compound make its way back into the atmosphere by converting nitrates into gaseous nitrogen. This process of nitrogen cycle is a final stage and occurs in the absence of oxygen. Denitrification is carried out by the denitrifying bacterial species, that is Clostridium and Pseudomonas, which will process nitrate to gain oxygen and gives out free nitrogen gas as a byproduct. Microorganism involved in nitrogen fixation in denitrification is Pseudomonas. Nitrogen cycle in marine ecosystem. And terrestrial ecosystem. The nitrogen containing compounds that fall into the ocean as sediments get compressed over long period and form sedimentary rock. Due to the geological uplift, these sedimentary rocks move to land. Initially, it was not known that these nitrogen containing sedimentary rocks are an essential source of nitrogen, but recent research have proved that the nitrogen from these rocks is released into the plant due to the weathering of rocks. Importance of nitrogen cycle: helps plant to synthesize chlorophyll from nitrogen compound, helps in converting inert nitrogen gas into a usable form to the plant through the biochemical process. In the process of ammonification, the bacteria help in decomposing the animal and plant matter, which indirectly helps to clean up the environment. Nitrates and nitrites are released into the soil, which help in enriching the soil with necessary nutrients required for cultivation. Human impact on nitrogen cycle: burning fossil fuel, application of nitrogen based fertilizer and other activity can increase the amount of biological available nitrogen in an ecosystem. Nitrogen applied to agricultural field enters rivers and marine system. It alters the biodiversity, changes the food web structure and destroys the general habitat. Thank you, children.